people go back to the Data Governance Council or engage Data Governance Council in making those changes. Okay. We will have another 5 minutes. I will quickly cover the data stewardship best practices as well. Okay. So who is a data steward? A data steward is a person actually who guards the MDM application. So he is a person who is responsible to make sure the data that is residing in Hub is perfect to the most, right, in whatever the form. So he keeps track of what is the records that are coming in from a different source system and what are the records that are flowing outside the customer Hub. So he has been provisioned with some of the functionalities given by majority of the vendors. It could be Oracle, MDM, or IBM on all this. So you could see there is a MDM analytics which shows the record completeness. So for example, if it takes in a week, the picture which you are seeing now, it talks about one particular week of the year where you see how much of the accurate information of the particular customer's records that have flown in. So you could get to see that. And it generates a report against the data governance committee to say where the data is flowing and which source system is not providing the right information, how the data is being fixed. Then you also have the rules engine. So there is something called an Oracle policy automation. So it helps you to predominantly take care of the privacy information. Say for example, if the information is flowing from multiple source systems, right? Some systems may say do not call, some systems say call and all this. So when you write a rule, it takes care of the making sure some of the compliance are being taken care. So even if it's one negative parameter in any of the system, it marks do not call. For example, if one system says customer said do not call, it puts a do not call and publish it back to the other system. And you have the enhanced data governance user interface. So Oracle has now released with the recent 8.2 version using a WebLogic servers. It also generates a lot of data governance related metrics. And you have the analytical MDM capabilities. Suppose you want to build your own dashboards beyond what is being provided by the product vendor, right? You can use any of the analytics tool, just pull the data and start building your own dashboards. Okay, so data steward performs the following operation on a day-to-day basis using the data steward application. So it does a suspect match. What is a suspect match is that whenever a duplicate record comes to a hub, it shows you this is a suspect record because I already see a golden record existing. This could be a duplicate. And then comes the merge request. The customer says, I get to see 2 duplicate records. Could you please merge it? And you have incoming duplicate overview. As and when the data is flowing from the multiple source application, you get to see how many duplicates that are coming in. Then you also have a guided merge. When you have a guided merge is something is that giving some parameters for the data steward to choose the right record to merge. And you have incomplete records where you can send a report back to the source systems and ask them to correct the data. And survivorship rules are nothing but, as I talked about, which system has the maximum weightage to update one specific field of a master data. The idea of this presentation is not to present to you the entire functionality because it will take you days together to master master data management technology. What I see is that what are the insight which I can help you with. With this information, you can go and further explore and try to get as much of information on this MDM. Okay, so we just talked about merge. So there is something called when do auto merge happens, when a manual merge happens. So it's once again the threshold scores that were given. It is not that you should have only this score. It could be less or more than this. So whenever there is a 90% match of 2 records, right? Then you choose a record which you want that to exist. The existing record could be the old golden record or the new record that is going to come from XYZ system, right? So if there is a match of all the fields is coming to 90%, then automatic merge will happen. When a manual merge will happen is that if there is the threshold limit is less than 60 or 50%, then you may not be really knowing whether it's a duplicate record or it's a new record. Then it comes to the preview of the data steward. The data steward will look into both the records and he will choose the record which will exist. So that we call it as a manual merge. Okay, and the same thing is explained in this slide as well. And you have the same thing is explained about when you create a new record, when you merge actually. So if you feel that the data that is coming, even though there are some resemblance, it is not the same record, you need not merge, then you create a new record. Okay, so this screen is very important. So what happens is that you get to see the highlighted records, right? So you see the master record, which is a golden record, which is appearing in the Oracle Customer App application. And below that, you see a duplicate record, or looks like a duplicate record has also been put in. Now you have a choice, either to create a new record or to update it. So you can click on the link and update button. The link and update button, what it does is that it updates the information which is existing in the old record. Okay, suppose if you don't want to merge, then what you do is that you create a new record. So you click on the create new button, it creates a new record in the hub. Okay, in the screens, what you get to see is that the one that is appearing in the top applet, right, where you see the golden record already existing in the hub. And these are the duplicate records of the same customer that has come from a different system. So you see the first field, source systems, right? You get to see US, EDVA, that are the source system names. So the different customer records are flowing from the different source application. So you can choose either to create or merge records. The interesting part of hub is that unmerge. Few years back, this unmerge functionality was not there. So what happens is that suppose by accidentally if you are merged two new records, they are not necessarily a duplicate records, then there is no option for you to unmerge. With the new age customer app application or any of the MDM products, it also gives you a privilege to unmerge it. So when you unmerge, you will be able to get back the old new records. And reject records. There are some times where you feel that, okay, this record is neither for a merge or for a guided merge. So you have to reject the record, so you reject it. So guided merge is something like it takes the two records and put it field by field to give you unsuggested also. See, for example, if you see this particular screenshot, you see a field name, main phone number, survivor and victim. Nothing is there but a suggested number, right? So it could be for this. So the suggested column will help you even to enhance the information. So this we call it as a guided merge. Okay, so then you have the incomplete record processing. The lot of records that are flowing into Hub, they're not consistent. Even after going through a data quality process, still you have for the data to be improvised or enriched. So the data steward is being given a screen to update the information and make it a little more perfect. Okay, so this is one example of the survivorship. So what you see is that you have a new incoming record from Siebel, and you have on the right existing record within the customer hub. Now what it does happen is that using survivorship rule, you can take the new incoming record as well as the existing record and try to build the best of the records. So what here happens, this the one in the bottom, best version UCM record, you have name, but the telephone number is changed because the new incoming record from Siebel, it is always when something is coming new and it has got any of this telephone numbers, email ID, it means the customer has updated the information. So it updates the telephone number and gets you a new golden record. Okay, and you can define your own survivorship rule set. Okay, say for example, the confidence level. If you look at the screenshot, right, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it fully, but come to the bottom and you see there are source system. This is what we talked about earlier also. So we have the multiple source systems that are there. So when a data is coming from the multiple application, you give the confidence level. Say for example, I have put in one system by name UIS. So if any data which is going to come from UIS, it means it is 95% of confidence level. Confidence means it is 95% of the accuracy. So if a telephone number is going to come from UIS and a telephone number is going to come from another source system, I very well choose UIS over the other source system because the confidence level is more on that particular source system. What it says is that this system always churns out a very productive and quality data, so I have a higher confidence level. Okay, so these are once again some of the functionalities that are provided in the recent version of the Oracle Customer Hub. So you have guided merge, which we talked about, and we have a data decay dashboard. So it tells you from the fields which are there in the customer record, right, how much of this been updated. Sometimes it talks about even the complete customer record. If it's not been updated by 6 months, 1 year, and all this, right, it produces a dashboard so the data steward can go and rectify or ask for more information from the source system. Then you have an audit trail. How many times the customer record has been updated? Say for some record is being updated every week, so it shows that. Some records it may be updated every 3 months, but if you go to the customer record, it will tell you the history. Then we talked about a list import. Not every time the record needs to be migrated or integrated that's coming from use some integration. It is to empower the business users. They can use an Excel sheet, go to the Siebel UCM application, use the import button and import the data, and it will go to the complete data quality process, survivorship, everything, and you get a golden record. Okay, the last screen. So this is innovation that the Oracle has done on the Siebel UCM. So it's very interesting. If you see when I'm very fortunate that actually I'm seeing this product from its evolution. We are one of the partners who co-developed the Oracle Customer Hub with Siebel Corporation, or Siebel UCM with Siebel Corporation. Then it got acquired by Oracle. It's a very interesting journey. And more I see today, right, it has become one of the very strong and robust tool compared to other tools actually. And I tell you, this is actually a very demanding skills, and it's a dream for every IT professional to pick up this type of career, right? Because you get to see it's not only a technology, you also get to see a lot of strategies involved in the MDM project, and you see a lot of the top management guys are really focusing on this type of initiatives. It is not like I'm implementing a CRM. MDM initiative is going to bring every other application into it. So that's a significant. So for example, if you want to become an MDM specialist, what is required? You need to be a specialist in data quality. You need to be a specialist in integration. You need to be a specialist in understanding the master data. You also need to be a specialist in understanding the business, because without understanding a business, you cannot do much of a data enrichment, right? So for a true MDM professional, right, we look for all these qualities. You may not be an expert in the data quality, but if over the period of time, it is very much when you start working in this project, right, automatically you pick up the skills and you become a very full-fledged professional